Hey everyone, welcome to Carysgarage, and on this episode we're going to do an update on the Chevy Celebrity Diesel and also talk about some of the trials and tribulations and what it's like owning a very obscure car. And before we continue with the video, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, hit that bell. We're getting so close. The channel is growing slowly, but it's definitely growing and I really appreciate it. There's also a Patreon for the channel. It's just a simple support kind of thing. Don't really have too many tiers. Information is down below. But let's talk about what we're here to talk about, the Celebrity. I've had a lot of people reach out and comment and ask about what's going on with it and wanting an update. So here's the update. Nothing has happened. That is because parts are very, very hard to find. Like I said before, they're extremely difficult to find for this car. It does have a blown head gasket, so we're going to have to take the engine apart, the top end at least, and replace the head gaskets, top end gaskets, and whatnot. Finding the head gaskets of them just by themselves was a total pain. Felpro doesn't make them. Nobody lists them. Nobody really has them. I did do some deep diving one evening. This was a while back, and I found a guy in Florida who had a new set of Felpro head gaskets for it, so we have obtained those. We have them. Next is the intake and exhaust manifold gaskets and the crossover for the intake. Nobody makes those. Nobody has those listed. So that kind of has me tied up right now. And also cylinder head bolts. There are 28 of them on this engine. GM definitely wanted to right their wrongs with a 5.7 diesel, and this thing has a lot of head bolts, and nobody sells them, nobody makes them. So if I need to replace the head bolts, I'm probably going to have to go through ARP, get them custom made. I've got all the measurements, and it's going to be expensive. And the other thing is I'm going to have the radiator rebuilt. Can't get new radiators for this. There's a few shops in town who's going to be able to rebuild it. It's going to be a few $100. But once I do eventually get all the parts together, we will be able to start taking this thing apart. We're going to do an entire full video build series on taking the engine, transmission, everything out, taking it apart, cleaning it up, getting it all put back together. There's not too many videos out there on the 4.3 diesel and the Celebrity or in general, and we'll definitely do a lot on that because I really want to get this car going, but I need to find the parts. Which brings me to the next part of the video, owning an obscure, odd car. Now, it's a Chevy Celebrity. It's an American car. Cool. You know, there's a lot of celebrities out there, 82 to the early 90s. Now, parts are not that hard to find for Celebrity, but the 4.3 liter diesel was only made from 82 to part of 85. It was a $500 or so upgrade option. Who knows how many people ordered them or bought them brand new, and who knows how many of them are even in existence anymore. There's probably maybe a handful of these cars around. So finding parts has been so difficult. Like I've said in the past, you can't just go to the normal parts store. You can't just, look around. You've got to really deep dive. You got to ask. You got to join groups. You got to probe, and hopefully something will come up. It's one of those, there's probably a mom and pop shop somewhere. There's an old, parts store in the sticks somewhere that probably has these parts sitting on the shelves, but usually they don't have the internet, and it's going to be very difficult to find those. But actually, as of today, a friend of mine who is a 4.3 diesel guy, also a 5.7, he really likes these. He sent me a message that he has intake and exhaust manifold gaskets for this car. So I might be able, fingers crossed, to get them from him. And if that's the case, then we'll probably be able to start moving forward and getting this car torn apart to get fixed. Which, funny enough, out of every car I've owned and I've worked on, a Chevrolet Celebrity is the car with the hardest to find parts. And I've worked on weird French, Italian, German, some weird stuff. But a lot of those cars, parts are available. They're not easy to get, but you can find them. This thing, nothing. Everything you see is no longer available and not listed. It's so difficult to find parts for. But there's a helicopter, so there's probably going to be noise in the video. But that's really why I love doing this, and I started the YouTube channel, is because I really like saving these underdog, odd, obscure, bizarre cars. Finding them in this state, hunting down the parts. I really enjoy that hunt, and it's really fulfilling. And then fixing them and bringing them back to life and getting them on the road. It's just nothing has a feeling like that. It is just the best thing for me. But that's pretty much where we're at right now with the Celebrity. It's just kind of hanging out, sitting here until I can really gather everything and find some space and be able to tear the engine apart and get it all fixed. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you on the next video.